New overnight changes coming to Denver's Park Hill Golf Course. While you were sleeping, Denver City Council voted to rezone that land.
9 News reporter Courtney Yoon joins us live now from the golf course. And Courtney, this happened after hours of public comment.
Yeah, good morning, Corey and Jordan. That's absolutely right. Public comment went late until the evening yesterday, and then City Council didn't get to vote until after midnight. The ordinance did pass 11-2 to approve rezoning of the former Park Hill golf course that's behind me here. Residents have been split about what to do with the 155 acres at Colorado Boulevard and East 35th Avenue, whether to develop the land or keep it as open space. City leaders and developers want to turn some of the land into housing and leave some as open space. Some neighbors have pushed for the whole golf course to be preserved as open space. In public comment last night, some people stressed the value of affordable housing, while others said the city is steamrolling neighbors to favor the developer.
And I really recognize the struggle that to buy a home is key to building equity and to building your life up. And I want to support that. But I do not want to sacrifice green space in exchange for that. Why can't we have both?
We need a grocery store. There hasn't been one there forever. I don't know if the city doesn't understand the needs of the neighborhood or not, but my neighborhood is gentrified. There might be 5 black families left.
City Council also voted to create 5 new metropolitan districts to raise tax money to pay for projects here. Now that the City Council has approved the rezoning, the project can only move forward if voters approve the development plan. So Denver voters will see that ordinance on their ballot in April.
And Courtney, this is really interesting hearing these updates from you this morning, because it's been quite a while that this has been a really contentious issue for people in this area.
Yeah, absolutely, Jordan. I mean, the land here was sold, I think, back in 2019. So it's been years of this, neighbors trying to going back and forth, whether to preserve this as all open space, whether to redevelop some of it and keep some of it as open space. A lot to come on this, definitely. We'll have to keep our eyes on it.
Yeah, and you could hear all the opinions there last night, too. So it is definitely a tough topic. Courtney, thank you. Well, turning our attention to California now, where the state is dealing with its second mass shooting in just 3 days. Police say 7 people are dead and another hurt after shootings in Halfmoon Bay, which is about 30 miles south of San Francisco. The sheriff says a man killed 4 people at a mushroom farm and 3 more at a trucking business. She says that they were all Chinese farm workers. Police have a suspect in custody, and he is cooperating. They say he worked at one of those businesses.
This happened just 2 days after that mass shooting at a dance studio in Monterey Park. We now know an 11th person has sadly died. 9 others were shot and did survive. This morning, we are learning more about the suspected shooter who took his own life Sunday afternoon. Police say he was 72 years old, and he was making his own gun silencers, which reduce the noise of a gun. They are illegal in California, by the way. Police say they knew about him before this all happened. The 11 people killed at the dance studio were all in their 50s, 60s, and 70s. That includes 65-year-old Mai Nan. Her family said her warm smile and kindness was contagious.
Now, about 20 minutes after that shooting, the suspect went to another dance hall in Alhambra, California. Take a look at this. This is what happened next. An employee named Brandon Say stopped the suspect at the door and wrestled the gun away from him before anything else could happen. This went on for a bit, as you can see. Say says that he saw the suspect reach for his gun and just made a split-second decision.
I had many thoughts where I would think, I'm gonna die, this is it. This is the end for me. But then, something happened, something came over me. I just had this rush of thought and adrenaline, in this sort of situation. And I was able to come to the conclusion that I needed to do something. I needed to grab the gun.
Well, he saved lives for sure. Monterey Park's mayor says the suspect may have been targeting his ex-wife, but we still don't know a motive for sure.
Back here in Colorado, prosecutors are charging a 17-year-old as an adult in the murder of a 16-year-old girl. Police say Brandon Sandoval shot and killed Aaliyah Granados Cortez earlier this month. According to the affidavit, this all started with selling vape pens. Family says Aaliyah was with her sister Jennifer. Court documents say they met Sandoval off Atchison Way in Denver's Montbello neighborhood. Documents say Sandoval walked up to the car window and pointed a gun. They said they threw the THC cartridges out the window and tried to drive away. The car lost traction on the ice and the suspect reached into the car window. According to the documents, there was a fight and then Sandoval fired. Sandoval is now facing several charges, including murder. The warrant says Sandoval and the girls had been communicating over Snapchat.
In Denver, there's going to be a new place for young people experiencing homelessness. Urban Peak broke ground on its new campus on Tacoma Street yesterday. This location will replace Urban Peak's old shelter. It will have 136 beds for people ages 15 through 24, along with case management, mental health, and medical care, even other services that will be available there. Most groundbreaking ceremonies start with a ribbon cutting and cheers, but this one started with a moment of silence. A member of the Urban Peak community died over the weekend alone and in a tent, something Urban Peak CEO wants to prevent happening to others.
When you are celebrating hope, sometimes you have the experience of loss the most poignantly. Everybody is taking a big risk because we know we have to change the trajectory of young people that are experiencing homelessness.
The campus is partially funded by a $16.7 million contribution from the voter-approved Rise Denver bond.
Venezuelans coming to the U.S. no longer have special protections because of the violence in that country. Now, Colorado's Democratic senators are asking the Biden administration to change all of that. They want to bring back temporary protected status for Venezuelans arriving in the U.S. right now. Venezuelans haven't been eligible since the middle of last year. An extension would give people seeking asylum from Venezuela certain protections like travel and work authorizations. Senators Michael Bennet and John Hickenlooper are asking the feds now to make the declaration retroactive, which would help the migrants who've recently come to Denver. And for about 20 Venezuelan kids in Colorado, it was the first week of school. And a new school and a new country. You can imagine there's a lot to adjust to.
Absolutely. The school asked us not to show the students out of fear of retaliation against those families. So our Katie Eastman spoke with the people welcoming them to their new home.
The first day of school brings new possibilities.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
Alejandra Berdamo can't contain it.
Yeah.
Nervous energy that Gael Velasquez
Yeah.
feels too.
Because I might make new friends.
But it's not their first day.
I think they are from Venezuela, I think.
Of the more than 4,000 migrants who have arrived in Denver since December, 17 of them are starting elementary school here at Cole Arts and Sciences Academy.
Half of our school are native Spanish speakers, and each grade level they get a little bit more exposure to English. So by the time they finish school, we're hoping that they're on path to be biliterate by the time that they graduate high school.
Even if the teacher doesn't speak Spanish,
En nuestra clase,
there will be a student like Gael to help.
my friend, he's also from Venezuela. He came this year, and every time he doesn't understand something, I tell him what the teacher is saying.
And when it gets frustrating,
I'm from Honduras.
there will be a student like Alejandra
No, it's bad.
who understands.
But for me, it was really difficult to start learning the language and communicating.
The new students have a lot to learn, but the students already here can't wait to be taught by them, too.
I really want to talk about her country because I really want to know about all the Latin American countries. I could start helping them how to do things, and by helping them, I could understand more.
For Next, I'm Katie Eastman.
What sweet students.
And so
compassionate.
intelligent.
They really are.
Yeah.
Absolutely. By the way, some teachers at Cole who are from Venezuela made arepas for breakfast to welcome the students.
I love this. It's teaching them so much. It's expanding their knowledge. But like you said, it's also expanding their compassion.
Well, yeah, and you know, those students know exactly what these new students are going through, right? They were there a couple years ago, and so the fact that they're willing to step up and help them be comfortable, it's really incredible.
Yeah, you love to see that.